Yo, what's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Tay TV. I hope you guys is having a good day. Today, I'm going to be reacting to this testimony of how this beautiful woman right here made her first million at 22 years old. Before I get into this video, I want to let you guys know to join my Patreon where you guys can watch my anime reactions, and I'm telling you, it's absolutely worth it. You guys won't be disappointed, and I want you guys to share my anime reactions out, and eventually my anime reactions, they're going to be on YouTube. Once I find a video editor that knows how to edit anime for YouTube, they're going to be on YouTube. But for right now, y'all join my Patreon to watch my anime reactions. But most importantly, let's get into this video right here, and I hope you guys get inspired.
This is how I built my first million at 22 years old. I'm currently sitting in the car because there are now 7 cleaning ladies cleaning my house, and here it's nice and quiet. But I wanted to talk about my come-up story on building my business. So I never really felt like the confident type. I was actually really shy and quiet in school. I overthought everything, and I actually thought that would be my weakness and that would hold me back in succeeding in anything. But that insecurity became my biggest strength because it made me obsessed with becoming better until I made my first million at 22. So I grew up in a really loving middle-class family. My mom works in court and my dad works in a pharmaceutical company. So I grew up in a pretty high-achieving environment. Of course, my parents wanted the absolute best for me, but that also meant that they were sometimes a little controlling. Everything had to be perfect. My grades needed to be perfect. I couldn't get a student job because I had to work for school all the time. And in class, I was actually the quiet and shy girl who never really spoke up. Even though I had a really great home, I just constantly felt pressured to do a good job, and I didn't want to disappoint anyone. I remember there was a year in school that I failed for almost every subject, and I think I would never make that year and would do it over again. But then I made the choice to work non-stop until I actually fixed it. And that's when I really learned to work hard to drive results. That experience actually taught me that you first need to be consistent to then drive the results to be confident. All my life,
that's right, you had to be consistent to drive the results, and you had to be confident, and you're also going to fail a couple of times. It's not a overnight process. You have to keep failing until you succeed.
I was told that success looked like getting a really good job, like becoming a lawyer, a doctor. I think a lot of people can relate with that. But the problem was, I really didn't want that life. I wanted freedom, I wanted luxury. I didn't really want a normal life with constant routine and knowing exactly what's going to happen for the next 10 years. And also in school, no one of my friends really could relate with me. They all wanted a normal life, a normal job, but I didn't. I had this constant battle in my head. Do I follow the plan of my parents and what my friends were gonna do, or do I choose something totally different that doesn't make sense to anyone but me? And that's when I met Samuel when I was just turning 16, and he had such a different vision on life. He told me that you don't have to be rich or old to build a business for yourself, and that we could actually start now with doing something already. And for the first time, I kind of saw a way out of the life that my parents and my friends were expecting me to have. So after high school, my parents expected me to go to university, but deep down, I really didn't want to. I just wanted to start my own business, and we chose for the business model dropshipping. Because at the time, if you would search making money online, then dropshipping was kind of the first thing that popped up, and it sounded really interesting to us. So I told my parents about my plan to start a business, and they were absolutely against it. So we had so many fights about this, calling me crazy for doing this. So what I did is I did it anyway, but behind their backs. I was telling them I started university. Every morning they expected me to go to school. But what I actually did was I packed my backpack and I went to the gym and then straight to a cafe to work on our Shopify website. We had about 2,000 euros saved up, and that was everything. For 6 months straight, Samuel and I tested a bunch of different products. We burned so much money, and we even got scammed by a coach. My parents still thought I was studying each day, but actually I was figuring out how to make money online. And it was so risky, it was stressful, and honestly terrifying. But I enjoyed it so much, and I couldn't go back to the normal life. So after half a year of constant failure, we finally found our first winner. And I couldn't explain what the happiness felt like of those first Shopify notifications coming in. The first winner was actually a dog harness, and I remember refreshing the Shopify dashboard constantly all day to see the sales come in. So we quickly made a 100 euros day that quickly turned into a 500 euros day, and that quickly turned into a 1000 euros day, and that one absolutely felt crazy. Making 1000 euros on a single day when you're 18 years old, I can't explain how that feeling was. And it wasn't just the money, it was also just the proof that it actually worked, that dropshipping works. This was a point that we felt really confident in growing the business even more, and that's also what we did. We became absolutely obsessed with the numbers, filling in our P&L on a daily basis, and optimizing the ads and the website to scale to higher numbers. At this point, dropshipping was no longer a dream, it was a system, and we were ready to scale that system. So after generating a bunch of money with dropshipping, I actually wanted to do something different. My ultimate goal was to start a skincare brand because I was absolutely obsessed with skincare. And so I did. So I launched a skincare brand in Europe, and in the beginning was actually doing pretty well. The product was generating sales, the ads were working, people were even coming back to buy, and that was a point where I wanted to expand my skincare line of that single brand. But that's where everything went wrong. I invested 30,000 euros and ordered 10,000 units of skincare. I had everything ready to launch for that new collection, but deep down I knew my gut was telling me that something was off. Everything looked really nice. I had hired a bunch of designers to design the packaging. The website looked absolutely clean. But at the time, even though I had already generated a bunch of money with dropshipping, I still didn't really know about product market fit. My new skincare line was just basically like every other skincare product out there. We had cleansers, serums, moisturizers, but what makes these products unique when you can buy from a trusted brand that already exists for so long? This is something at the time I didn't really know about and didn't realize. Now I would of course not build that brand, but at the time I didn't know better. And then at that point of insecurity, I was choosing between two options. Or I lost my 30,000 euros and I keep it there, or I could continue with the launch. I had my 30,000 euros lost. I had to still pay for shipping to bring the products to Europe, and I also needed to pay marketing costs. So I kind of quickly made that decision, and although it was a super hard one and a super painful one, I'm really glad I decided to cancel the project. It might seem so illogical if you hear the story, but actually I think I made a good choice at that point. Thank God I had Samuel as well, because he actually helped me make that decision. At that point I was so emotional that I couldn't make a logical decision. So he helped me with that, thank God. And I think together we really made the right call in this. So that was my first attempt on building a brand. And after that attempt, I actually started dropshipping again together with Samuel. And my goal was to first gather $1 million in cash with dropshipping before I started a new brand again. Actually, after that failure of losing 30,000 euros, I think a lot of people would already have quit here. But deep down I knew, okay, this is my failure. So the only way you ever reach success is if you first have a bunch of failures. If you ask any successful person how many losses they have made, they will definitely come up with a bunch. So why would you stop at your first failure if you know that they first had failures before achieving success? So for me it was a very easy decision. I just needed to continue. And although it made me super insecure and demotivated, I still kept going. It was a really tough time, but I just kept going. And continuing from that failure on is the only reason why I am successful today. And then when we actually hit $1 million in net worth, I could finally start branding again. This is something that I really liked. And even though my last brand was kind of a failure, I was really excited to start this new brand. For this brand, it was actually going pretty well. So we started the brand 1.5 years ago, and up until now it is $7 million in revenue. We also moved to
$7
Portugal,
million
which
and
right now
they moved
the
to
weather is not
Portugal.
really representing Portugal very well. We lived here in a community with friends who all do the same. They all do e-commerce
They all have the
successfully.
same
And most importantly,
mindset,
I'm living with
and they
all
all
friends
want
that
to
have the
like
same mindset
achieve
as me,
greatness and
same
to do
goals. We
great.
kind of live in this bubble with entrepreneurs. And building this brand really gave me confidence in everything. From losing that confidence a little bit when I failed my first brand, I kind of gain it back now. This is also how I learned that confidence is not something you are born with. Confidence is made by doing the things that scare you the most. So from the beginning,
right.
I never really related with any businesswoman that I saw online.
This is good,
because
and
I think a lot of them actually came.
I hope y'all are listening to this and y'all learning. Like she said, she failed a couple of times, but she didn't give up. She learned from her failures, and then she was able to get the results that she was looking for.
Across a bit arrogant and fake, and as if money changed them. And that's never something that I wanted to see happening with me. I've always believed that you can be strong, but at the same time stay soft. Maybe that's the wrong word, but kind. At least. I'm on the one hand very logical, direct, disciplined, but on the other hand, I'm also still feminine and kind. I have my routines, I eat clean, I gym every day, I'm very structured, and I don't really separate business from my personal life because it's kind of intertwined and I like it this way. And my goal is to show other women that you can build massive success without losing who you are. So never think that being feminine makes you weaker in business. It gives you a different kind of power, I think. So today I live in Portugal with Samuel. I run a successful e-commerce brand in the US. I kind of have everything I ever dreamed of. I have freedom, I have peace, I have a dynamic life, but I'm nowhere near done. My goal is actually to reach $100 million before I'm 30. I'm now 24, by the way. Not because of the money necessarily, but kind of to see what I'm capable of.
That's right.
Especially before I have kids, I just want to be the best version of myself. I also want to give my family everything they gave me and more. And I want to inspire other women, especially the ones that are kind of like me, that were quiet when they were younger, that were shy, maybe insecure, and to show you that you can do it too, because that used to be me. If you ever felt like the quiet one, the insecure one, or the shy one, or too average to ever be successful, I was you. I built everything from nothing but a belief and a dream. You don't need confidence to start, you just need courage to begin. So this was my story on how I built my first million at 22. I'm now 24, I have so many more goals to hit, and I'm going to keep you updated on this channel. Thanks for watching.
This is it for this video, y'all. This video was a blessing. If y'all was blessed, y'all like, y'all share, y'all comment y'all thoughts, and y'all subscribe to my channel. Thank y'all.